I've been asked this countless number of times. Stacks and layers. Cuba, does this go with this? Does this go with that? How does this look? Is this right? Really, when it comes to stacks and layering, it's all personal preference. What I may like to wear, you may not, and vice versa. It's all about personal style and choice. What I say is not the end all be all. It's all personal opinion, as it is going to be for anybody else on YouTube. There is no unwritten rule on stacks and layers. However, I'm here to show you a couple of ways that I stack and layer some different pieces, and then you guys determine if that's a vibe that you want to proceed with or not. Let's roll my motherfucking music so Cuba can show you his stacks.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. It's your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. Now, I never script a video. I rarely do. I really just go off the top of the head, and this is going to be that kind of video. So if it's a little all over the place, I apologize in advance. But there is no unwritten rule to layering or stacking personally. Rock whatever you want to rock and be happy about it. I'm going to show you some suggestions or some of the ways that I wear them when I decide to stack or layer, which isn't often, to be honest with you. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. There's some pieces that I'd rather stack that have a better look to them, but usually I'm a singular type dude. I don't know why people think that I'll go outside with like multiple chains and shit. That's not the way it works. I keep everything locked up away from my crib in a safe place because that's just the way it should be. And I know a lot of people want to see a collection video, and the truth is I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. And the reason being is because of the internet. The internet is an ugly place. I get a lot of love and support on this channel, which I love you guys for, but there's always that 1 or 2% that think that they're brave and they just want to be real extra behind the keyboard. And I was raised in a type of environment where you never count a dude's pockets, you don't envy a motherfucker, and you really don't ever let anybody know too much of what you have, because there's always that snake lurking in the grass no matter how high that shit is. And if a motherfucker thinks he gets brave one day, well, it's a problem. Just saying. So I'm going to show you a couple of styles that I personally like to do and layer and stack when I do decide to do that. So let's just jump right into it. The first one that I do tend to stack often is my ice links, or also known as the Cubano link. These are my two ice links. One is rose gold and 4.5 millimeters, and the other one is 4 millimeters in yellow gold. Technically, these ice links are two-tone because of the cuts on them, and they really give the illusion, if you don't know what an ice link is, they give the illusion of a diamond tennis chain without any kind of stones whatsoever. They're just cut in a real different type of way with this barrel type look that really is a fly, lightweight, hollow chain that isn't too expensive but gives you a lot of bang for your buck. So this is a stack or layer or whatever the fuck you want to call it that I like to do. It's a two-tone, 0.5 millimeter difference at the same length. They're both 22 inches, and I love this stack look. These just go perfect together because these chains, you can put a pendant on it, but it has to be a lighter pendant so they don't stretch or break, because they are hollow pieces. Not that they're fragile, whatever, I'm pulling them, they're not gonna snap, but they're not the most sturdiest pieces in the game either. But this is a dope look. Since we all move around, they might intertwine and tangle, and they still have a fly ass look. So this is kind of like a same length stack, as I like to call them, or a double stack. Different millimeters, same length, right on top of each other, and just gives it a dope look. So this is a 22-inch stack. Next one. Now, I don't always stack gold on gold. Sometimes I stack gold over silver, or silver on top of silver, or gold over silver with actual gold pieces. So I'm going to show you an example of that. So this one is my gold over silver 10 millimeter 22 inch from Gold Fever Miami. It is dirty as shit. I really have to, when you don't keep shit around, you don't have the opportunity to fucking clean it as often as you may want to, so it's a detox. So this is a 22 inch 10 millimeter gold over silver Cuban that I got from Gold Fever Miami. I don't remember how old it is, however long the video is. Still hasn't faded as of yet. Still holding on strong. It's just massively dirty. Massively dirty, like super dirty. It's insanely dirty, but it is what it is. So this is a 10 millimeter 22 inch. So I'll throw this joint on. All right, 10 millimeter 22 inch. All right, boom. And now I can stack it with my Daniel Jewelry Inc. latest acquisition, 11 millimeter 22 inch actual 14K. which is still clean as of yet, but already is getting a little bit of burn. So if I stack that one right on top, there is a 1 millimeter separation, same stack. One shows a little bit tighter and higher than the other. That tends to happen when it comes to bigger millimeter Cubans, because the way they're constructed, the links tend to be a little bit tighter. I've noticed that. Now, I don't know the science behind it. I'm not a jeweler, never claimed to be. I'm not a jewelry expert. I'm a dude with a camera and an opinion. So they tend to be a little tighter, so sometimes it looks a little bit shorter, but this is a 1 millimeter difference stack at the same length as well with Cubans. Usually I don't wear them like this. It would have to be some really flashy ass event or whatever for me to do it like this. But even tucked in with the true neck profile of a double stack, I kind of like that look more. Just kind of very subliminal to the, just kind of subliminal, kind of, you know, just leaving it out there, leaving a little bit to the imagination, kind of like, what's going on there? Very subtle. You can barely tell unless, you know, you catch that look. Some people may be like, that's pointless. Like, if you're wearing 2 chains, why are you just tucking them in? Because you don't want to always be flashy and shit. You don't want to look like a walking fucking Target, depending where you live. You know, you don't always got to be with your chains out. That's why the neck profile is so important. You know, you got a sexy neck profile with a double stack with some big boys, you know, or you just wear them out like you at the club and shit, popping a $158,000 bottle that really costs $28. Next one. And now if you want to be really wild, you pull out the big boy gold over silver 16 millimeter. Also, forgot how long I've had this joint in the mix. Hasn't faded, hasn't faded. It hasn't been cleaned in, woof, I don't even know how long. But here's this joint, and if you throw that on top of that, this one I believe is 22 inches also. And then you have this ridiculous Rick Ross, every day I'm hustling. You know, there's just a little too much. This is the triple stack look, all at the same inches. You know, so we got 16, 10, and 11. This is a no-no for me, but it could be fly for you. Now, one thing I don't like to do, here's the 16 millimeter still on, is this type of look. It just doesn't look well, which is the 26 inch. This is a 6 millimeter. So the 26 inch with a pendant over a big boy. This one I just feel looks kind of tacky in my opinion. This look does not work for me. Even if I had a big pendant on this one to help the look a little longer, this just looks whack to me. I don't like wearing pieces like this, especially when it's a huge millimeter versus such a small millimeter with a pendant. This doesn't flow for me. Even tucked in, it just looks super weird. So this is something that I would stay away from personally. So we got a 22 and a 26 with a pendant, which always brings it down at least half. So this is not a look that I would recommend doing. Next one. However, if I pull out my 22 inch with a pendant, this is a diamond cut Franco, 22 inches, about 2.5 millimeters with my pendant. Also dirty as shit. This is a little bit redeeming. See how that pendant falls right comfortably above the bail? This is something that I may go for. This pendant kind of outshines this one a little bit, but pendant to pendant, chain to chain, it hangs literally right above the fucking bail, like perfectly. So if you're gonna do a stack with a pendant, this is an idea it gives you. This pendant is actually right under 1.4 inches in length minus the bail. And it, as you can see, it lands perfectly on top of the other pendant. So you have that pendant stack, different lengths, but look kind of fly. Now, another stack that I feel does not go together, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree, is the big boy white, gold, silver, and yellow gold stack. This is the 12 millimeter rope diamond cut from Luke Zion and the 16 millimeter gold over silver. This is not a go. Whether it's silver or white gold with yellow, I think this should look tacky. This shit looks really off. It's not a stack that I would recommend. Neck profile or not, like tucked in, doesn't make it any better. It just looks super offset. Not something I would recommend. One's 24 inches, the other one is 22. It just doesn't, yeah, no. Next one. The next is this teardrop look stack. This is kind of a 20, 22, and 24 inch stack on top of each other. And I'm actually rigging this down to a 20 because it's a lot longer, if you can see here. But this teardrop stack is something that's becoming super popular. Some people go 20, 18 to 20 on this top one. So it'll be like right around here. Then this one will be around 20 to 22. And then you got this one 24 to 26 to get that teardrop stack look with pendants. So this is something that you can definitely rock. Again, it'll be 18 to 20. And then the second one will be 22 to 24, and then the other one will be 24 to 26, depending on the size of the pendant. There's different variables that go along with it. So it takes a little bit of trial and error to do this kind of triple stack teardrop shit. I generally don't wear chains that are 18 to 20 inches, so that's why I have to mock this up. But just to give you an idea of what this teardrop stack will look like. Next one. Mini pendant stack, again, same length, 224 inches with 2 mini pendants on it. You kind of get this kind of look. You kind of get this look, which is fun. Pendant on top of pendant, small, subtle, low-key, tucked in, tucked out, doesn't attract too much attention, but has a nice neck profile look. Real snazzy. This is something that I do like to wear quite often. Very lightweight, very subtle, but gives you a little bit of design and style and a little character to your look. Next one. Now this one, I don't know, tennis chain look with a gold or a silver or white gold. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of stacking tennis chains. This is the Ice Giant Tiffany blue chain. And very beautiful color on these. Now stacking this with something similar length. This one's about 22. So maybe if I throw an ice link on it. So since this one's blue, maybe I'll throw the rose gold ice link on it. Let's see how that would look. I'm not a fan of stacking the tennis with anything personally, unless it's another tennis. That'll give it that kind of look. You know, it's got a little red and bluish kind of look to it. Maybe it adds a little bit of a flare. It seems that the tennis holds up a little bit tighter on the neck. Instead of 22, it's feeling like a 21. But yeah, no, it's just, it doesn't work. Like the tennis, even with a Cuban, like if we throw a small Cuban on it, like let's say it's just, this is gonna look stupid. I already know. Yeah, horrible. That's just not even, doesn't even work. Disregard. Stack your tennis with a tennis, and that's it. Next one. Another topic I get asked often, stacking a Cuban with another link. Which one would look dope? All right, so let's use the 10 millimeter as a reference, 10 millimeter, 22 inch gold over silver. And I'm just saying gold over silver, it doesn't really matter because the tone isn't gonna change. It's gonna be the same 14 karat gold look. So just putting it out there. I forgot that this Franco's 20 inches with the pendant, and brings it down to 20, my apologies. So this is 20 inch, so you can see 22 and 20 with a 2.5 inch Franco. The millimeter is too far off. You would have to get a chunkier Franco for this to make any kind of sense. So you could do, the stack doesn't look bad, but there's too much gapping here in between for my personal taste. This would have to come down a little bit lower for me to be in that space. As you can see how difficult it is to do a stack with a big boy Cuban. That's why I rarely stack big boy Cubans versus another link, because you just have to really sit down, and instead of online shop, you'd have to go to a spot and really analyze which one millimeter would complement the other one, and then get the whole length situated. So it's not something that I commonly like to do, to be honest with you, is stacking Cubans with another one. You can stack them, but it's a millimeter game. You know what I'm saying? Like if your chain is a 10 millimeter and you stack it with a 2 millimeter, it just doesn't look right, in my opinion. You would need a bigger rope. You would need at least, I would say, a 4 millimeter or 5 millimeter to give it that presence. I don't have any of those, unfortunately, to give you that comparison, but I hope you get the idea. I apologize, but again, I freestyled this shit. Next one. And finally, a stack that I've been trying out lately is the 10 millimeter, 22 inch with my 2.5 inch pendant. So let's put that on. Solid pendant with enamel from Daniel Jewelry, with the 26 inch 6 millimeter Cuban with the new pendant from So Icy. So since this one is the diamond pendant, I put this one on top so this doesn't clank right on top of the diamond pendants and chip anything. This isn't a smart stack, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is more like trial and error type shit. So this chain is longer, as you can tell. You can see one chain is significantly longer than the other, but the bridge pendant is a lot bigger than the Cubano pendant, a lot longer, and provides more presence. So they almost land at the same point based on height of the pendant. But what you don't want is to have this diamond pendant under a solid piece like this, because when you walk and move, clank, 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 could chip enamel, could knock a diamond loose, whatever the case may be. So generally you want to put the diamond piece on top of the solid piece, which still isn't the smartest because this has enamel on this, right? So this can kind of clack or chip at it also. But this would be kind of that double stack if you just want to flex, she'll want to be big dick energy type shit, you know what I'm saying? Pull up and, you know, you're marketing your shit hard body, you could do something like that. But You know, this is something I've been playing with. It's not recommended because I'm sure I'm gonna fuck one of these up. And again, this isn't my type of look, only on camera. I don't really be out there in the street with like fucking 14 chains on. Let's be realistic. So I know this video has been all over the place and is massively long. So truth be told, it all goes back to the original situation. Like, usually with stacks, you can go 20, 22, 24. Usually give something like a 2-inch in between to give you that kind of layered stack. But that can also be modified depending on the length of the pendant. So if you got a pendant, depending the length of that pendant, you want to add at least 1 inch to 1.5 inches of length between, so it falls base of the pendant to the top of a bail. What you want to do is pendant, pendant, and give a little bit of spacing in between, maybe 1.5 inches to 1 inch of space between, so they stack accordingly. I love y'all motherfuckers from the heart. Sorry for the long video. Sorry for it being disorganized. But again, I want to give it as natural and be as direct as possible and not feel like I'm scripting anything. I'll see y'all bitches next time. You know who it is. Biggest in the game. Smooches.
Cubano, 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 Cubano. What's fresh? Who's best? Wanna know who's gonna pass the test? Cubano.
For the fly gun holder, money folder, Motorola, start tag when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.